Okay, I'm back at Street Metal Concepts here again for my weekly update. As you can see, there's lots of cars in here, lots of work going on, so we're gonna get around and talk to some of the mechanics and see what's going on. So stick around to Drive By Cars with Alan so you can get all the updates. Okay, so I've wandered over here to the International Scout where they're putting a new LS3 motor in this. So let's see if Dom can give us an update about what's going on here. Hey Dom, how you doing, buddy?
Good, good.
Yeah, how's things on the Scout?
It's going pretty smoothly. Kind of just mounting the motor, getting the motor mounts all situated and everything right now. It's all suspended on jacks. Everything's floating in there. Verifying drive angles, clearance for the transfer case, drive shaft measurements. Trying to get all of that taken into consideration before we solid mount the motor in its final resting position. I've already had the motor in there on a mock-up transmission and mounts to kind of generally put it where it needed to go so I can do the wiring and do all that other stuff. We had to wait for a conversion part for the transmission to fit our new transfer case to it. So that's installed. So I was able to pull the motor back out, swap the transmission, put it back in there. Now I've just got to come up with mount designs for the transfer case, the transmission cross member to clear the drive shafts, and then get the motor in its actual perfect resting position. So all drive angles got to be taken into consideration. Clearance for drive shafts, pan clearance, differential to oil pan clearance, valve covers, all that stuff got to be taken into consideration, while allowing it to still be easily accessible. And you know, like if the motor can come forward a little bit to make it easier to work on, like removing the exhaust or the headers or anything like that, just got to take all that into consideration. And
so it's not like all the TV shows on Motor Trend where in one part of the episode you see the motor coming out and then 20 seconds later you see the motor driving down the road.
No, not like that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you get lucky with like a well-designed kit, so to speak, but this one, they have a kit, but it's not very good, so to speak. So a lot of generic parts. Like the mounts that we have now are generic LS mounts that you kind of have to fabricate and weld to the frame. There's no set spot for them to go, so you can move it any which way depending on your setup to get you better, to benefit you in your particular setup better.
It's all trial and error, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You just kind of assess the whole situation, what you have, what you're working with, what your plans are.
Sure.
Then you just pick and choose like the best way to go about it. So.
Sure. This is the new transfer case for that Scout. That's a pretty big transfer case. That's a good sized transfer case. How are you going to get that in there, Dom?
It's cast iron and it's quite heavy. Probably gonna have to either get two guys to pick it up, put it on a transmission stand, then we're gonna have to hoist it up in there.
Is there room for it to fit?
No. Two options. We either body lift the truck to get it to clear the transfer case on the floor, or we have to cut a tunnel or a kind of like a cap in the floor, which is likely what's gonna happen. Body lift it. You know, you gotta get extension brake hoses, steering linkage, shift linkage extensions, you gotta do all that stuff. So this route, it's just put a little cap in the floor. It's gonna be underneath the console anyways, you'll never see it.
Here is the Tahoe. This is a 99 Tahoe they've been working on. Looks like it's got the glass in it. Most of the paint's done. That's looking pretty good there. All the panels are on it. Awesome bumper there. Backup lights. It's called a hammerhead. You know, they started putting these steps in these things. This makes it so nice. I got one on my Chevrolet. Nice little step up there. Some Mickey Thompsons. Open the door here, be careful and see the interior. Look at that. It's coming along good. How are you, Thomas?
Pretty good.
How's this coming along?
It's coming.
Yeah?
Slowly but surely.
Yeah?
All the glass is back in. Hopefully we'll get the distributor in it soon and get it to run and fire. Plug the batteries in it. finalize all the electronics. It's got daytime running lights in the headlights, and then the markers, so the extra white wires to power those. Has a big massive bumper like the rear and the front.
I saw that, yeah.
With a winch, so I'll have a winch in the front. So we'll get all that on.
Looks brand new, man.
Yeah, the mirrors, these mirrors have a heated feature. The truck never had the heated feature, so we ran extra wires into the doors to hook up the heated feature. So that'll work as factory.
Have you started the motor yet?
We have not.
No?
No. Hopefully we'll be getting into that soon. We're finishing running the rest of the stuff. We have to make 2 gas tanks for it.
Right,
So it's gonna be a dual tank setup. So that'll probably be next. We'll get the motor ready to fire, then we'll get the tanks made. Then we'll get everything hooked up, and then we'll fire.
So the extra tank is so he can fuel his vehicles out on his property? Is that what Ian was telling me?
I think that, and just to have more capacity, so they will be linked together. And nobody makes a huge capacity tank for this vehicle.
Right.
It's like nobody made the power running boards, and we retrofitted a pair. So we will make the 2-door Blazers have a tank in the center under where the cargo area is, and the Tahoes have them long ways on the side. So we're going to utilize a Blazer tank where the spare tire would be, and then a Tahoe tank, and then make them feed together, and that way we have a larger capacity.
Right, right.
So it'll almost all be mounted factory with straps like it would have been if it was a Blazer.
Sure.
And then the Tahoe tank.
Okay.
I think we have to shorten the Tahoe tank a little bit, but other than that, I think we got it pretty much figured out.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Running dual batteries.
Dual batteries?
Yes, sir. So if this was a diesel truck, which a Tahoe wouldn't have been, but if it was a Silverado that was a diesel truck, there's a battery tray on each side for the diesel. So you just buy the tray and you can mount it.
Right.
Because the core supports are the same. So we'll have dual batteries, but a battery isolator between them. So the winch and other electronics will be on the second battery. And then that way when the truck is off, all the electronics will run off of one battery. And when he goes to turn the key on, that battery will guarantee it's going to start without depleting both batteries.
Right. Hey, Ian.
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good. This truck is starting to look like it's...
Starting to look like a truck now?
Yeah.
Starting to have body panels on it.
Yes, sir.
Not look like a skeleton.
I'm sure you're happy with that, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's kind of bittersweet. Kind of like seeing your kid grow up.
So you're saying you're going to miss this when it's gone?
No, it's starting to look really good. It's
it is.
The grill kind of made it come together a little bit more. Now it looks like a truck now.
Yes, it does. That's cool.
It's appealing, man. It's like a I don't know, just I think the color scheme and everything, kind of all the accessories and stuff.
All blacked out the way it is.
It looks good with the blacked out.
Yeah.
And then of course we still got the fender flares that start on the side of it, which are going to be super
Oh
cool.
yeah, you're going to get some fender flares on it?
Fender flares on it. I don't know what he's doing exhaust for, what he's doing in exhaust. But the
and a winch on the front of it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to get the big bumpers and the winch.
Right.
It's going to have the 2 batteries hooked up in it, so it's going to have...
Right.
But I'm excited to see what it goes along. It's kind of sad though, because once it leaves, I know the guy's gonna take it up in the hills of Tennessee and
get it dirty
and freaking destroy it. So, but I mean, that's what we built it for, is to use as a truck.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the Ford is back here that Chris and I took a ride in last week. Get some paint touching up. How you doing, Dakota?
Good, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Nice.
More Camaro stuff?
More dress panels. This is the one that goes on top of the radiator.
Right.
The other ones connect to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, it's gonna be pretty cool. We're done.
Yeah, it is. That whole underneath of that carriage, or underneath that deck, is gonna look real neat. That's neat looking thing stuff. Okay, so I've taken a quick look at the Matchbox truck here. They've made quite a few bit of progress on it. I can see that the radiator's in it, and I can see that the trailer mount's on it. And we'll go over here and get Casey to show us pretty much what he's done to get it to the point it's in.
Pretty much what we're doing is just getting a basic design for our tunnel here that we're building. Got to build a whole box that seals to the inside of the radiator here. And once we get that all boxed out and we can bring it on up, we're going to be making a transition in size from this wide. It's going to have a nice angular up go there, and then shoot straight up to the scoop. And then she's going to eventually round over, and she'll be more of a dome that kind of mimics the front grill area and the front fenders. So this is pretty much just a basic template mock-up that we're just going to can the design afterwards.
Are you?
Yeah, it's not fitting what we're going for. It's a little, you know, there's a lot of round edges over on this whole truck. Everything's round. There's really no hard lines, and getting this thing to look right, boxed isn't working. So
the box would just look out of place. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and totally scrap this upper design and start from scratch. Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to scrap cardboard than that metal.
Oh, a lot easier, a lot cheaper.
Looks it, boy. I tell you, that's cool though. The way this is gonna work, gonna have that ram air coming down into that radiator.
It's gonna be a lot of work, but finished product. That's what we're all
one of a kind. To see. Now that's a heck of a radiator there, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's a big boy radiator. I'm not sure the exact fluid limit on it, but it's pretty stout, and these fans are pretty extensive amount of flow.
They sure look like it.
I mean, this probably cool your house down. You fill a wind tunnel.
I'm sure, yeah.
Got that much CFM to her.
Wow.
I'm convinced if we took these fans, put them on a boat with a sail, we could go for a trip off coast.
For the trailer mount.
Yeah, so like we said before on a previous episode, we had this nice old metal pieces full of these nice windows that we had to weld together. We went ahead and welded it. It's going to be a gooseneck attachment for a lowboy trailer with airbags. We went ahead and channeled it in right around the C-notch here, and then we went and rolled over our edges, did a smoothie on the outside. This came with only one rolled over edge, and then the inside was a separate piece that we had to seam there, and then we went and grinded that down, rolled it over real nice so it's all uniform. And had to do some under brackets, got it all in epoxy.
So she's ready to go, huh?
And she's ready to go. We'll obviously need our ball that we're gonna mount there, and we have some nice panels that are just decorative that are gonna cap these pipes.
So this is hollow under here that goes up,
yes,
so you
sir.
can get to it, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, right.
That's all 1/4 inch or more steel, so it should be plenty heavy duty enough for what we're doing.
Wow.
And we went ahead and relocated our shock mounts to a different location.
You didn't like them where they were?
No, it was giving us a little too much angle. We were worried about the way that it would suspend, you know, going down the road on the axle. Too much force maybe pushing forward, so we went ahead and changed that.
So it's more over the top.
Yes, sir. We got her almost straight up and down. There is a little change, but not anything dramatic. And then we went ahead and made a brand new template piece here for our inner fender brace. We actually made our inner panel. I'm pretty sure we got a shot of that before.
Yeah, we did.
So what happened is we finished that mock-up, we tried our fender, and we were rubbing tires. So I had to take that plate and bump it out, which then entailed fixing the fender to meet the new panel distance. So there was a gap. So what we did back here is we took our panel, we extended it out, and we had about a 1/4 inch gap between here. So we're gonna take a piece of flat, or if it can be machined, they're gonna give me a nice 1/4 inch back lift there.
And this is the tub for anybody that doesn't know what this is.
Yep, this is our fender for the rear. And this is gonna sit on the inside of the wheel. These will be windows cut out. This will be a 5/8 plate steel that we're gonna weld to this fender to help keep the structure. And then it's gonna saddle on a brace that matches this bottom
down there.
Down on the axle, yes sir.
Which is that piece right there. Yep.
Okay. And we had to do a little reconfiguring from our bump out. Since we went a little further out on the axle, we had to modify to go and integrate with this bracket here. And then also what we had to find out is where we're gonna clear our hardware for maintenance later.
Right.
So all this brake hardware that has to come out, we're gonna have to notch a hole so it can be bypassed for maintenance later, because it's gonna be a permanent welded fixture to the axle.
Wow.
So a few little things in consideration we have to change just to keep the basics going the way
Right.
it's supposed to. And now we're at a final product and we're moving along.
This is why they call it metal fab, right?
Oh yes.
Yes, sir. That is awesome. Casey, thank you so much, man.
Oh yes, sir.
I appreciate it. So that's your update on the, what year is this?
This is a 62, I
62.
believe.
This was a 62 F850 when they bought it, but when they're done with it, it ain't gonna be no 62 F850, that's for sure.
Oh no.
Okay, so there's your update. Got a little bit of interesting facts on the guys' thoughts and the way they think about these things here, the way they think about car building, the way they think about how they're going to do the car building. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Keep watching. I'll keep coming back. As long as you keep watching, I'll keep coming back. So please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Drive By Cars with Alan. Oh, and I got a new one. It's called Drive-In Garage with Alan. That's where I'm going to be putting all these videos about street metal concepts. After a while, I'm going to phase out putting them on the car show side, and I'm going to have just a special channel designed just for the car shop garage here. So if you like that, tune in. It's Drive-In Garage with Alan. Thanks, and I'll see you later.